Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we're going to be talking about Banshees of the Inisherin. I definitely messed that name up. So, sorry. But yeah, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons, so let's get to it. Pros, our two leads are Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, both very much recognizable actors, particularly Colin Farrell. He's been a lot. I mean, recently this year he was the Penguin and the Batman. You wouldn't know it because he was covered. He was straight up unrecognizable, but that was him. But yeah, he's been a lot of stuff. Like it's kind of crazy. Going on with like the more important ones. Let's see. The Recruit, Daredevil. He was Bullseye. He was bald. It was weird. Phone Booth. I heard that one's underrated. There's, I think it's underrated. I don't remember. There's SWAT. That was a big hit back in 2003. Alexander, oof. That's definitely not one to talk about. Miami Vice, same thing. Um, Trying to look at any more notable. Horrible Bosses, where he was like a complete. He was like the son. Like he was like a such a douchebag in that movie. I've seen clips of him as like this absolute tool, and he's fantastic. He's so unlikable that he makes it work. So I would definitely consider that a positive here. A Total Recall, oof. Oh no. That's a reboot that no one remembers at all, and no one wants to remember. Fright Night, that didn't do okay. There's not a whole lot of positives here. I mean, there's Fantastic Beasts, like the first one, that did really well. Dumbo definitely didn't do all that well. And then the Batman. So yeah, his track record isn't great, but he's a recognizable face. Definitely a recognizable face. So that's a relative positive. And Brendan Gleeson here, he's been a lot. He was he was in the Harry Potter movies. So there's definitely that. You can mention that. Trying to think of the more relevant stuff. There was definitely the Mission Possible, not Mission Possible, Harry Potter movies. Uh, what else is there? There's Troy. There's 28 Days Later. There's The Village, Kingdom of Heaven, Beowulf, another Beowulf. The second time I mentioned Beowulf this weekend. First time was with Armageddon Time with Anthony Hopkins. See, Green Zone, that didn't do well at all. Safe House. Da, da, da. The Smurfs 2. Assassin's Creed. Oh god. Never again with that movie. I like to pretend that movie never happened because it shouldn't have happened. And Paddington 2, finally something good. Something that we all know of. But yeah, well, he's definitely more of like a supporting actor type of guy, but he's still been in a lot of stuff. So I consider these two to be a relative pro for this movie. Not a strong pro, but a relative pro. So there's that. Another pro I can think of are the reviews. They are extremely good. It's at, I'm looking at this here, 97% critic score. That's the type of score you want for an Oscar bait movie. You need scores like that to really impress people. And its audience score is 87%, so word of mouth is definitely not a problem here. So that's a obvious pro right there. It's limited run. How did it do limited run rise? Okay. It's much, much, much better than what was it? Armageddon Time. That was only 11K. This had like 46K in four theaters. That's a much better average, obviously. It's not ideal. Like the most ideal Oscar baiting movies, they'd have a per theater average of like 70, 80, 90, 100 plus K. But this is still decent. It's solid enough. I think it's better than both Till and Tar. Believe it is. I'm pretty sure it is. And then expand like 58 theaters the next week. had like 9K per theater average. So things seem to be going smoothly with its limited runs, almost like $1 million in less than 58 theaters. So I think that's pretty solid. So its limited run has been pretty good overall. So I would consider that to be a pro. Okay, that's pretty much it. Okay, cons. Ugh. Like now, this year, I'm talking about a lot about how certain audiences or certain genres are really coming back. You know, they're really, they're revived, like say the family audience, the older woman audience, just older people audiences in general have come back. Like certain sections, like family movies, dramas, horror. Well, action's always been doing good during the pandemic, but the one section of film that hasn't been booming is the Oscar bait section. That has not been doing well at all. I mean, the box office results this past weekend for Till and Tar are a great example of that. So, yeah, that's not a good sign for this movie at all. So yeah, being a part of a section of film has not been revived, that's a big old con right there. Another con is that I haven't seen too much promotion for this movie. It hasn't exactly been getting those ad placements. I mean, this is from like Searchlight, well, Fox, formerly Fox Searchlight, so it's a division within Disney, and it's clear they're putting all their money in Black Panther 2 and a bit of it in Strange World, Strange Worlds. I think that's what it's called. So, yeah, this movie's kind of getting the short end of the stick when it comes to like Disney's marketing department. So that's definitely a con. Lack of big advertising, and then another con is that next few weeks are going to be rough because next week there's Black Panther 2 and that's going to take away all the attention, all the screens, all the money. And then after that there's a bunch more Oscar baiting movies coming up. There's She Said, there's Fablemans. Those are like two big ones. Bones and All, maybe that could be Oscar baity. But there's a lot of Oscar baity stuff coming out later and that will definitely hurt this movie more than help it. So that's a con. I think that's it. I really think that's it. So opening weekend, I mean, this is only in like I believe 800 theaters, 800-ish theaters. So it barely qualifies as wide. So that's not great. Yeah, only like 895 theaters. So that's definitely not great. So I'm gonna lowball it a bit and say the same range I have for Armageddon Time, 500,000 to a million in those 800 theaters. That's what I'm going with. That's what I think is going to happen. And it's total, I mean, God, uh, 5 million at best. But it could do better than that. But I'm going to be very pessimistic and say 5 million or less. And yeah, that's it. That's it for that. And okay, one more movie to talk about this weekend, and it's not an Oscar baity movie. It's a movie that might actually make a little bit of cash, and that movie is One Piece film Red. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? Got playlists on the homepage of all previous um prediction videos I've made this year. I've done all the blockbusters, the Oscar baity movies now. So you want to watch any of those past ones, particularly like Tar and Till. Those are the main ones that pop up in my head. So if you want to watch those, go right ahead, or any other ones, go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I don't believe I've covered this movie once. So there's that. I know I just recorded a cancel episode today revolving around Scream 6 and Dungeons and Dragons. I don't I'm probably gonna publish that before I publish any of these prediction videos, so you can watch that, watch all the other cancel episodes I've done, all 165, including the one I'm doing today, or was the one I've done today. So you want to watch any of those, binge it all, go ahead, binge it all from beginning to now. I highly encourage it, so go do that. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. October recap should come out next week. I'll let you know if anything changes. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I've done on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.